Good morning, everybody. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd. And you are lucky enough to be here for our November 2019 Coffee Pot webinar. Where today we are talking to Phil and Vanessa from NetDocuments about their newest add-on to NetDocuments called ndThread. And so, without any further ado, I'm going to hit a couple magic buttons here and kind of surrender my screen and introduce Phil. Why don't you tell us who you are and how to pronounce your last name? I know, but everybody else doesn't. And whatever else you'd like to tell us before you introduce Vanessa.
Fantastic. Thanks, Paul, and appreciate the opportunity again to speak with your audience today. And so my name is Phil, and my last name is pronounced Nieves, and I've been with NetDocuments for a handful of years now as an account executive, and I love what I do. I like helping firms across the world improve their document management and email management, and that's something we're going to discuss today. So I'll be covering the first portion of this presentation. I'll just going through just a quick PowerPoint slide, a few slides here. Just want to just give a few little background information about ndThread, and then we'll go ahead and pass it over to Vanessa to actually give the demonstration of the product we'll be discussing today. So today's Coffee Pot webinar is going to be on ndThread. So I want to start out and really, to kind of set the mood here of what we're going to be discussing. I want to start with this image here. And the reason I want to start with this is because this is how a lot of clients that we work with, this is how they feel day in and day out, where they are just getting blasted by emails every given day. And if not this, then you also have those of us that the first thing we look at in the morning is our cell phone. We look at our mobile device, and this is the kind of image we might be greeted with that morning. We get to see what's waiting for us for that day with all those emails already in our inbox just waiting to be addressed. So in order to help our clients with this, we're going to talk about ndThread today. Just want to just share this little stat that was given to us. According to an Analog 50 firm, over 80% of the emails are internal communications. So that being said, what if we could, or if you could, reduce the email volume significantly? Comment and collaborate directly on documents, as well as track and save discussions securely to each matter, just like documents and emails. So there's some of the why ndThread. So the idea of NetDocuments is we want to really bring your experience to you and improve what you work with day in, day out. So email, we talked about NDmail a few months ago, how to use our Outlook integration NDmail to better manage your emails. But what if we could reduce the amount of email pouring into your account every single day? One of the things I love about NetDocuments is that much of what we do, much of our products are built on feedback from our customers. So our clients are asking for a more simple way to communicate internally and even externally. Say those conversations as they're communicating with all the different attorneys inside and out, how can I get that information into a single place? As well as how do I reduce the number of different products or applications that I have to constantly manage? If I've got information over here in my inbox, but I also have my cell phone, how do I keep it consistent across the firm? Now, so ndThread, real-time communication. I like this image especially where I have this cell phone here because I'll talk to a lot of different law firms that will say, I'll call my client and he won't answer his phone. But if I shoot him a text message, suddenly they'll get back to me right away. So the idea of ndThread is to take that same kind of concept where this can also be an app that you can download and you can tell your clients, hey, we're going to do a lot of our communication via this app. Download it, it's free. I'm going to send you some documents right here. They can jump in there. It's much like text messaging. I can review it, make comments, and message them right back and get the information they need to very quickly. As well as catch up and share group information. So you have those times where you send an email to a lot of different contacts within the firm, and people are emailing back and forth, commenting on it. Then you have that one person that comes really late to the game, and they'll look at the first email sent out and make comments on that, even though 10 people have already responded to that. Now they're really late on responding. We've already covered the information or the comments they've just made about that email. So this is a great way to be up to speed on what the conversation is internally in the firm of what's going on. So great way to collaborate internally. And for our IT folks, they especially love this because it integrates NetDocuments. So we can have these conversations. It's pushed right back up into the cloud, right back into NetDocuments to a specific location, to a matter or client file. It reduces the amount of emails going to that Exchange server, as well as it's NetDocuments. We still have that security built up where you can govern who has access to what information, who can do what with this. So there's still those internal securities that our firms appreciate about NetDocuments also are in line with ndThread, as well as I mentioned before, just capturing the conversation and putting it back into the client matter space. One thing that our clients also like, and this is one of those ways that, and one of the proofs that ndThread was designed by attorneys, in that I can send a document to one of my colleagues, they can make annotations on it, make comments back to me, they can tag me right back into it, so we have that real-time communication, and I know what they're specifically wanting me to look at. A great way to also collaborate and share information that way. Now again, NetDocuments, a lot of things that we pitch is we want to save time. So we want to save you time from having to deal with all those emails. We want to divert some of those emails from your inbox into ndThread, where there's that real-time communication. It's secure. NetDocuments is very big on security and keeping your information safe, as well as we want this to be in one single location where it's less management for the IT folks, less management for the firm. That being said, let's go ahead and move over to Vanessa. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen just for a second, and we'll give this now over to Vanessa.
Thanks, Phil. Okay. And Phil, can you let me know that you can see my screen okay?
We can see it.
We can see it.
I'm not Phil, but I think I'm authorized to see that.
Thanks, Paul and Phil. So hi there. I am Vanessa Nguyen. I am a solutions engineer with NetDocuments, and I'm here to show you ndThread today and how it could help. So with ndThread, it is a communication tool for internal and external use cases. So where that way you can take all of your inbox emails and put it all into one central space. And it is also workspace centric as well. ndThread is accessible through 4 different forums. We do have a native application, what you're looking at now, your mobile device, inside each workspace matter, and also through a web URL. Okay. So looking at the ndThread application, we do see that in this matter of a client matter of a stronger door policies, we have a team thread, and in this thread, we do have different chats. Okay. You see conversations. Within the internal group, you can see who's online and who's offline. Okay. In this case scenario that we're going to go through today, I have an email from Phil regarding Griff Tannen's release. Now, Griff Tannen works or did work for a Stronger Door LLC. So Phil is Griff Tannen's counsel. So he says, "Hi, Vanessa, just wondering if the agreement is available for review. Please let me know ASP." I'm going to hit reply and say, "Phil, it's ready, but I'll send it in ndThread. Let's discuss there." So instead of going back and forth inside your emails, we can now bring all of this conversation inside the Stronger Door Policies workspace using ndThread. Along with the team chat right here, you do see other conversations listed below. And inside the ndThread application, you also have access to your documents, because with NetDocuments, we understand we want to bring NetDocuments to you where you work, regardless if you're in your Outlook, if you're in the web, or you're using the chat communication of ndThread. So here I've already made a private thread between this party. And if you notice, I have brought Phil in as an external user. And so in here, there is a red banner that says, warning, be careful. Let's just be careful with what you say, because there is an external user that can access this thread. So now that I've created a thread, I can say, hi, Phil. Thanks for joining. So here, not only are we having conversations within this thread on this client matter, on this topic, but I can also bring in documents to where we can also discuss as well. So I already have the agreement located inside the workspace. And so here, I can bring in an agreement and we can discuss it. I'm going to look for the employer agreement for Griff Tannen and hit select. And Phil's already said thanks. And so here, I can say, here's the agreement. Let's discuss. And of course, I accidentally misspelled that, so what I can do is I can click on the pencil sign and hit edit and fix my mistake. And now we also have Ryan Tanner in the party included as well. So we can click on the document and we're going to see a live view of this document. Now here, we can also make annotations, discuss this document, and also even use this as a task list. Okay. But if I want to make a comment globally on this document, all I have to do is just click anywhere on the document, click on the bubble that pops up, and create my comment. But if I want Phil to look at a specific item, I can certainly highlight. Oh, let me try that again. I can certainly highlight the area that I want Phil to look at, click on the bubble, and say, is this his full name? And then click on post. Then Phil can come in and click on reply if he needs to. Okay. I can continue to make notations on this document as well. And as I'm making annotations, you notice the bubbles continue on the right-hand side. But because I'm on this page right here, if I wanted to look at the first comment again, I can either scroll up or I can just click on the bubble right here and it'll intuitively bring me to that bubble. So that way I don't have to do the endless scrolling. Okay. Now as I come out, I can see in here that there are 2 comments. Now if Phil and Ryan has made any other comments in here, that number will be updated as well. So once this conversation is done, what I can do is I can go up to the gear bar right here, and I can also export this conversation into a PDF or a CSV file. We also did bring our search capability in here as well, to where if I'm searching for an agreement, I can just type in the word agreement, and it'll parse it into 2 different sections for us, into messages, and then also the documents. And if you notice on each section right here, it does state exactly where the word agreement is being used. So all I have to do is just go search. I can click on it and it'll bring me exactly to that spot. Now, if I have any other workspaces that I need to put myself into inside the Nieve application, I can click on Join Workspaces and look for it, or what's nice is that it does give me the most recent workspaces that I've touched as well. And then I can just quickly join and have other conversations. Now those conversations that are one-off, that are not affiliated to a workspace or client matter, I can go to my direct messages and have those off conversations there. And it can be one-on-one, or it can even be group conversations too. Okay. And I would like to show you what it looks like inside NetDocuments as well. And as you're looking here inside a Stronger Door Policies workspace, you see here that we do have a Threads tab. So that way you can also access these conversations all within the workspace. And here is that conversation that we just had with Phil and Ryan. Okay. Now, as far as notifications on these items right here, you do get notifications through your Windows notifications, also through push messages, and if you are in a conference and you missed out on the conversation, you do have an option to have those messages sent via email. And this is what it would look like. And if you're using the web application, all you have to do is just click on, type in the web application URL. And the same look and feel as if you're using the native application itself. Okay. And that is ndThread.
That's awesome. Sorry, I was checking my mute to make sure I was really talking. That's awesome. I've never really seen this in that much detail, and it's very exciting. I tried to explain this to somebody yesterday, and they were excited about it just with my very tertiary sort of explanation. But this is fabulous because that first graphic that Phil showed was so true of what's happening when people are discussing documents or other things related to the matter. You've got email going back and forth. You've got people jumping in at the wrong time, responding to the wrong messages. It's just a mess. And then if you ever want to try and piece it all together, you really can't because there's different threads going. You get branches and all sorts of stuff. This is fabulous. Do we talk about pricing on this, Phil? Do we? Is it something that's a flat price, or is it just something that's negotiated when the deal is when NetDocuments is put in?
Hey, Paul. Yeah, so it would be best if the firm, if they're interested, to just get connected with NetDocuments, get connected with one of the account executives here, and they can give that firm their specific pricing for this product.
We all know what that means. That means there are deals to be made. So call your account rep and talk to them. And just,
you know how it goes.
Buy them a cup of coffee and then that sort of thing.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks so much, both of you. And Patty, you did a wonderful job. You didn't interrupt us at all. So that's it for today. Everybody. You're welcome. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month. Next month, we will be talking, we believe, with LawPay about their integration into tabs for anybody that cares about that, or I guess for anybody that doesn't care about it, they just won't attend. That's not up on the website yet because we're finalizing those details. So check back, and of course, Patty will send out an email just before to tell us what the topic of the December Coffee Pot webinar is. So thanks everybody for attending. Thanks for presenting, and everybody have a good day, and we will see you next month. Bye-bye.